Let's talk about something that was making the rounds in the gent shit posting group. I feel like I've made friends with them again. You know, those guys didn't like me for a while. I feel like I'm back in their good graces. I hope I am, because you know what? I love the gent shit posting group. I just want to be friends. That's all I want. Anyway, I found this in the group and I thought it was kind of interesting. This is a company called Featured X, which is basically a marketplace for musicians to buy and sell features. So for example, if I wanted to get Rio from Crystal Lake on a song, he is on there. I can just go in on their site and book him on a feature. We do our thing, pay him through the site, and then I got a way to have this musician on my song. He got a chance to get paid. And we can do it all through this site that kind of makes the whole thing easy, and there's reviews and stuff like that. So I think it's actually a pretty cool platform. I do know some of the guys that started it, like Tuck from Fit for a King was involved with it, and so I do know them a little bit. I am biased. Exactly. It's like Fiverr for dudes and beards who scream. That's what it is. It's exactly what it is. What I thought was kind of interesting is this Randy Birdholf guy. I don't know who he is. If anybody does know who he is, let me know. Not happy about it. He was salty. He said, "Holy fucking shit, these deathcore bros thinking they're worth this much money to feature on another band's song. I need to get on this site." And these are the examples that he shared from Featured X. So CJ from Thy Art is Murder, $2,000 for a feature, $3,000 for a full song. On the one hand, that seems a little bit steep to me. Would I pay that much to have CJ on a song? I don't know if I would. On the other hand, you know, it is CJ from Thy Art is Murder. He's put in a lot of work to get where he is. Can you fault him for charging that, knowing that you're going to capitalize on his clout? I don't think you can. Joe from Fit for an Autopsy, $1,000 to $1,250. Metal Injection's 2019 Vocalist of the Year. I did not know that. Dan Watson from Enterprise Earth, $750 to $1,250. With writing, without writing. This is interesting. So this is two different services that he will offer. If you write the verse, if you write the feature for him, it's $750. If you also want him to write it, it's $1,250. So $500 to have him write a part for your song. I mean, that seems pretty reasonable to me. You know, he's spent a long time honing his craft. Shouldn't he get paid for that? Ben from Shadow of Intent, $750 to $1,000, again, doing the with and without writing thing. Ronnie from Born of Osiris, $800. So there's a couple examples of that. I'll give you my thoughts on it in a second. Let's look at some other examples first, because I think this is fun. I always want to know how much everyone is making. Like, I was like walking around the neighborhood and looking up other people's houses on Zillow and shit, because I'm an asshole like that. I did some digging around and I found a few other ones that I thought might be interesting. But first, this video is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Manscaped hooked me up with a bunch of tools and formulations in their all-in-one performance package kit, and let's check it out. Pretty cool little package here, no pun intended, a package for your package. I'm excited to try out the new Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology to help reduce nicks and cuts. Got this LED light here, so you know what you're working with. Manscaped even created a ball deodorant called Crop Preserver and a ball toner. Come on, guys, this stuff is a game changer. They also have the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. My nose hair grows like a caveman, and I could definitely use that thing. And they even thought of your toes and nails too. There is the Shears 2.0 luxury nail kit, and for a limited time, you'll get all that plus 2 free gifts. The Shed travel bag right here, and the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs. Very good, because chafing is awful. So if that sounds good to you, and I think it should, go to manscaped.com today and get 20% off plus free international shipping, as well as those 2 free gifts when you use the promo code FINM. I will thank you for supporting this channel, but even more importantly, your balls and your body will thank you as well. I found a few other ones that I thought might be interesting. For example, we've got Danny Stillman from Drop Dead Gorgeous and 888. I don't know who 888 is. I guess that's his current band, but Drop Dead Gorgeous, pioneers of Screamo. $500 without writing, $750 with writing. That's, you know, that seems pretty cheap to me. I mean, not the biggest band in the world, but They've been around for a long time. That seems pretty reasonable to me. And exactly, what exactly is the rate they would be happy with if they think these are unreasonable? Exactly, it's like $500 for the time it takes him to correspond with you, to record the part, to send it to you. Like, it's going to take him a few hours to do all this, right? So let's say it takes 5 hours all told. $100 an hour to have somebody from, you know, a really well-known band on one of your songs and all the clout you're going to get from that, that seems totally reasonable to me. If that's not reasonable, what is? Well, let's look at a few other ones. Brendan from Counterparts, $1,000 flat. There's no with or without writing. Seems pretty fair to me. You know, Brendan's a no bullshit kind of guy, so he's just going to tell you how much it is. I thought this one was kind of interesting. Hans Allagood from Woe Is Me, currently the singer of Young Mountain. I'm not familiar with that, but, you know, the question is like, Woe Is Me broke up, what, over 10 years ago? Something like that? 2011? Something like that? So, you know, the fact that he can still get $400 for a feature off a band that hasn't been active in over a decade, that tells you something. Legit musicians without any name recognition on Fiverr is going to run you several hundred, so what's $200 more to get a legit star? That's what I think too. This is flat rate too, so it seems like he wouldn't give them royalties, I don't believe. That's a good question. I don't know about the royalties thing. That's a good question. There's also a $19.99 service fee, which is how Featured X makes its money. This $400, as I understand it, goes straight to the artist. You pay Featured X $19.99, and then you got to pay your 5% PayPal fee on top of it. You know, still seems pretty reasonable to me. And there are some people on here that are fairly, you know, some pretty high-end people. For example, Craig Mabbitt of Escape the Fate, also Bless the Fall, and Dead Rabbits. I feel like he was in one other band that I'm not remembering. $3,000 to $4,000 to have Craig Mabbitt on a song. That's a lot of money, obviously, but it's Craig Mabbitt. I mean, the dude is like at the very upper end of scene vocalist, right? Like, you know, the next notch up from that is, you know, Ronnie Radke and Jeremy McKinnon and people like that. Like, Craig is fucking legit and also a great fucking vocalist. But, you know, the reason why a lot of people do these features is not just because they like the sound of the person's voice, right? It's for the clout. Because having someone like Craig on your song makes it a lot more marketable. If you're some random local band or whatever, but you see featuring Craig Mabbitt on a song, there's a lot of marketing value in that, right? So aside from the fact that Craig is also a really good musician, I think he has one of the best voices in sort of, I guess we'll call it active rock in the Octane Core. Great vocalist. You also get the bragging rights of Craig. Is that worth $3,000? I would say it is. It's fucking Craig Mabbitt. The dude's been doing this shit for like 20 years. You got to pay him. The song could end up bad as well, so getting a bit of money for something they have no control over the end result of is fair enough as well. Yeah, that would be my sort of question. I think they do get to listen to the song before they agree to take it on, so they do get some sort of ability to make sure they're not signing up for like crap. But that's the other thing, is they can't just get on every song, right? Or else it becomes clear they're just doing this for the money and they're going to have their name on a bunch of awful shit. So you think, okay, $3,000, cool. We'll just do 100 songs in a year and then you made $300,000. Well, yeah. And then you also destroyed the value of your feature, right? So these artists don't have the ability to monetize this like 100 times a year. So I think you have to also compensate them for the fact that, you know, they have a limited number of features that they can do. There's a few others. This one I thought was really cheap. Kellen Quinn, Sleeping with Sirens, $800. This is crazy to me. And he has like a really long bio here and stuff. I don't know why he's doing features this cheap, because they were like a Billboard top 10 band. Like, Sleeping with Sirens is big. I don't know why he's doing them so cheap. Maybe he just likes to do it. But fuck, man, if you won't pay $800 to have Kellen Quinn on a song, you are a cheap motherfucker. And I don't know what to tell you. $800 is too cheap. If anything, I would say like, dude, Kellen, you should like double, triple, maybe quadruple that. You are getting a fucking deal if you get Kellen Quinn on a song for $800. Scott Stapp charges $19.99 per Jarl. I would pay 10 times that. It's worth it. Couple other examples. I was looking at vocalists, but if you go on the site, there's vocalists, guitarists, drummers, bassists. They also have graphic designers now, photographers, and videographers. Well, let's see who's featured guitarists. I didn't have time to look through all of the guitarists. I saw Mark from Suicide Silence on there. Let's see how much he costs. $500 to get Mark from Suicide Silence in your song. Worth every fucking penny. $750 to $1,500 for Eddie. Totally worth it. my friends from Issues. You get Josh, one of the best fucking drummers in the business. Josh from Issues to play in your song. Live tracking rate is $400. To have him mix it is $600. This is cheap as fuck. This dude is a fucking machine. Drummers are hard to find, right? Everyone says like they want to start a band, but they can't find a drummer. Well, here's the answer. You just pay Josh $400 to record the drums in your song and you're fucking done. Nobody's going to do a better job than Josh. He's a beast. So I can hire 5 of these guys to make a full song together, 5 features, 1 new band. I mean, exactly. There you go. And there's some other folks on here like Billy from Biohazard. So some of the people here, it's price upon request. You know, those tend to be the people who are a little bit higher profile. I mean, Billy is a fucking legend, right? I did the podcast with him. If you guys saw that, he was in Biohazard, you know, the biggest selling hardcore band of all time. I don't know how much he charges, but he's a pro. He's got bills to pay. Whatever it is, I think it's more than fair. Got a couple more to look at. So a couple surprises. One that I was very upset about is this. Frankie, also price upon request, because as soon as I saw Frankie on here, I thought, oh, well, how much would it cost me to have Frankie on my upcoming Slam EP just say the words, I want to watch you suck his dick? He doesn't even have to scream them. Just say, I want to watch you suck his dick. I just want him to say it into his phone. He could just record a voice memo of him saying, I want to watch you suck his dick. And it would have been worth it to me. I would pay whatever it costs. Unfortunately, we don't know how much it costs, but he is here on Featured X if you want to look into it. As someone from the hardcore scene, maybe I'm naive, but I'm used to your friends doing features regardless of how big they are. Yeah, I mean, if you're friends with them, yes. But if you're not friends with these people, like, it's fair of them to charge. We'll look at a couple more, and then I want to talk about my larger thoughts on this sort of idea and the way people are perceiving it. Andy from Monuments, excellent fucking vocalist. One of the best in the business. Super fucking good. He's got a few different rates, $600 to $1,500. Short feature without writing, 45 seconds or less, $600. Short feature with writing, $750. So only $150 more for writing. I think that's the sad part, is that there's some people out there who wouldn't take advantage of the writing part, which is like, you're really missing out if you don't do that. Long feature with and without writing, $1,000 to $1,500. Andy's fucking great. So I would say that is money well spent to have him on a song. He is fantastic. I really was hoping that Courtney from Spirit Box was on here, but she is, you know, she's been doing a ton of features, obviously, but you can imagine the kind of punishment that Courtney would have to put up with if she was on this site. You nailed this, though, when talking about the supply and demand of features. We actually love that some of the people we wanted turned us down for the Brainwash broadcast spot because they were too busy. Like Travis Barker, at this point, who would even want him? I agree. You know, a Travis Barker feature, I mean, of course, we would all be, I mean, who wouldn't want a Travis Barker feature, I guess? But at the same time, he's done so many of them that it kind of like devalues his features, right? Like at this point, you almost expect him to be on any random pop punk song now. So I think it's cool that he does that, you know, because he's a legend. So it's cool that you can have him on a song even as a relatively small up and coming artist. On the other hand, it does diminish the value of that feature, right? Lil Lotus, $1,500. I would say that's worth it. I love Lotus, fantastic vocalist, and the man needs to get paid. Michael Bond, formerly of Issues and Woe Is Me, $600. He is also in a band called The Villa, which I haven't heard, but you know, $600. That seems pretty cheap to me. If you're a fan of Issues and if you like Michael's vocals, $600. Good deal if you ask me. My friend Ashi, here, I gotta give Ashi a plug. Ashi from Beartooth and City Lights, $1,000 without writing, $1,500 with writing as a vocalist. You are dumb if you hire Ashi and you don't have him write with you, because his strongest point is a writer. He is a better writer than he is a vocalist. You are dumb if you don't take him up on the writing part. I will just say that. Pay this man $1,500 to help you write. It is fucking worth it. I promise you. You will not regret it. Do you think all these people would even accept if the project was dog shit? No, I don't. That's the thing. So think about how much bullshit they have to go through also. How much like random shit, how many like terrible local bands send them just awful garbage that they have to spend their time going through. This part of what they're being compensated for is all the projects that they listen to and say no to as well. Couple other kind of heavier hitters. Phil Labonte from All That Remains. Billboard Top 10 band, one of the biggest bands in metalcore, and you can have him on your song for $3,000. Not cheap, but I think this is a fair rate for someone who's been doing this for 20 years, that seems fair to me. $5,000 for writing and full promo. I think this is smart that he's including promo in his package because, again, that's part of why you want one of these features, right? Is you hope the person will promote it. Well, again, don't hope, pay them for it. Pay them. You got to pay them. That's what it comes down to. If you want the clout of a feature, you got to pay for it. You can't expect people to give you their clout for free. But the most expensive one I was able to find was this. Spencer from Ice Nine Kills, $7,500. Now, Spencer's a smart guy. I can't speak for him, but I do know him fairly well. My guess is that he doesn't really want to do these. This is a smart thing to do with pricing in general for any kind of creator. If you don't want to do something, price it so high that if somebody does say yes, you're like, well, all right. So that's my guess. Spencer probably doesn't really want to do these features, but if someone just absolutely must have a Spencer feature, they're going to pay the man, and that'll kind of take the sting out of it. That's my guess. Mainstream rappers will charge way more than that. I don't want to say who, but I know somebody who got a feature from a very mainstream rapper, and it was $100,000. They also talked about this. Who was it? Oh, it was Mario Judah. His contract came out, and he got a feature from, I don't remember if it was Trippie Redd. Mario Judah got a feature from some big rapper like that, and it was $100,000 also. So a rapper is going to charge you that, 50 or $100,000. So to get Spencer from Ice Nine Kills for $7,500, one of the biggest names in the genre now, I don't have a problem with that. So this guy, Randy Birdhoff, crying about Ben from Shadow of Intent getting $750. I'm not into it. I think these people need to get paid for what they do, and I am happy to see that other people agreed. You can see 864 comments, 543 shares, and pretty much all of them are basically just telling this guy to fuck off. Like, oh no, people want to get paid for their work. Damn capitalism. Musicians complain about not getting paid fairly for their work, but then cry like little babies when other musicians try to actually do so. Get good, you fucking nerds. The real idiot is the guy who makes a post thinking this expensive for music features. Those saying these guys don't deserve this. You don't know who they are, and you're not a musician. They need to make a living too. These are still considered underground artists, and they've sold out multiple shows. I'd pay them for a feature before I'd ask someone else. These are pretty cheap prices. Some professional recording studios charge more than this. Very true. Sometimes per song. So basically that was the tone of most of the comments, is people just being like, there is no problem here. Like, either pay the people or don't. There's an element of the culture that on the one hand, people complain that musicians get screwed by Spotify and don't make enough money and blah, blah, blah. And then on the other hand, when someone does something like this to monetize their craft, they talk shit. So I think it's sad. Common sense in a Facebook comment section of all places. Exactly. That's how you know it's bad. If the Facebook comments are reasonable, that's how you know it's bad. So yeah, my thoughts on this is more power to all these people. Charge as much as you can. As any kind of creator, here's my number one piece of advice. Charge more than you are comfortable asking for, because I guarantee you are worth it. It is almost certain that you are underpricing your work. It's very, very rare that you see someone and you're like, you're high, your rates are way too low. Almost always it is the opposite. Creators undervalue their work because you enjoy doing this, right? So you're like, well, I don't know. I like making music. I can't charge someone $500 to have me play guitar on their song. I mean, I like playing guitar. No, you've got to charge what you were worth, and what you were worth is almost always more than what you think you can ask for. So raise your rates if you're a creator of any type. Shout out to these guys for putting themselves out there, for being willing to put a rate like this on it, knowing that other people are going to judge them for it. Shout out to them for having the willingness to do that. And I think FeaturedX is a cool platform. Check it out if you want, featuredx.com. I think it's cool what they're doing. Happy to see them putting money in the pockets of so many musicians. And, yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about this platform and about just everyone involved trying to get their payday. Good for them. Fuck the haters. What an insulting thing to do, though, posting people's prices and telling them they aren't worth it. I don't even think the poster realizes how harsh of a thing to say that is. Yeah, I agree with that, too. Imagine if we found out how much Randy made at his job and we posted it on Facebook like, what the fuck? Who's paying Randy X dollars an hour to do this, that, or the other? It's not my place to judge however much Randy does or doesn't make, right? That's between him and his employer, supply and demand. That's what it is. Just Let the market sort it out. If CJ McMahon is worth $2,000, people will pay for it. If he's not worth $2,000, they won't pay for it. Either way, it's not your problem. Let the market sort it out. It's not your problem. And I'm sick of seeing this shit. I'm sick of people trying to cut someone down every time they find a way to make any kind of money off this music, which, by the way, how fucking hard is it to make any money off of metal? It's hard as fuck, right? So I'm sick and fucking tired of every time somebody finds a way to make some money, there's someone like this guy coming out of the fucking woodwork to hate on him. Fuck that shit. As my girl Ruby Rose says, get the money, sis. That is my final word on this subject.